Do you think I slept last night? I'm not stupid, you know. Petrol is petrol. I grappled with some very difficult thoughts. I climbed onto the table so as to hear better. I even got up on top of the wardrobe and put my ear against the ceiling. I did. They were snoring. Snoring. I climbed on top of that wardrobe at least 4 times. Snoring away they were, dead to the world. At one point, I got so angry, I went out onto the stairs in my pyjamas, believe it or not. I was just about to wake those two and throw them out onto the street with my own 2 hands, just like that. Along with their drums of petrol. Even if it was the middle of the night.
With your own 2 hands?
Yes.
Just like that?
Yes.
In the middle of the night?
I was just about to do it. I would have done it if my wife hadn't appeared. She was worried I'd catch a cold. But I was just about to do it, oh yes.
What should I make of this time? Speedman just couldn't sleep. Did he ever once think that citizens' goodness could be abused? Doubts overcame him. Why should that be?
Well, it's hard for a citizen Britain in business, who's otherwise kind and considerate, always prepared to do good.
Well, it suits him.
Hoping the good will come from being good-natured. He's made a deadly mistake.
What do you mean by that?
The curious odour of petrol.
I don't smell it.
Why on to us?
I don't smell a thing.
Sir, they're so used to the odor of evil.
Why on to us?
Can you please stop all this woe unto us stuff? It's pure defeatism.
Poor unfortunate Biederman. What's he got planned? Fearful, audacious, he struck me pale. Round no fearful, decisive. What for?
Already so used to the odour of evil.
Woe unto us.
On to you. If the thought of radical change scares you more than the thought of disaster, what can you do? Just stop disaster.
Just do what I ask.
Goose,
A goose.
why are you taking off your jacket?
If I report them to the police, I'll now be making enemies of them. What good's that going to do us? One spark has set the whole house ablaze. What good's that going to do us? Whereas, if I go up and invite them to supper, assuming they accept my invitation,
And
then they'll be our friends.
just so you know, Anna, you can't have a night off for having guests with the table full.
One left. Press the button.
Morning, Mr. Bean.
May I?
How did you sleep?
Badly, thank you.
Me too, it's the weather. The wind's from the south.
I don't mean to disturb you.
Oh, but please, you're in your own
Oh,
home.
I don't want to impose. Where's our friend?
Who, Joe? Off working. The lazy sod didn't want to go without breakfast, but I sent him to get some firelighters.
Firelighters!
Firelighters, just to be on the safe side.
Say. Very good, yes. No, what I meant to say was, what I meant to say.
You want to throw us out again?
No, what happened was, in the middle of the night, I ran out of sleeping pills, you see. I realised in the middle of the night that you've got no toilets up here.
Well, that's all right. We do it through your skylight.
Whatever suits you. Yes, fine by me. I just couldn't stop worrying about it all night long. Maybe you'd like to wash or take a shower? Please feel free to use my bathroom. I've told Anna to put towels in there for you. Why are you shaking your head?
Where did he put it?
What?
Have you seen a detonator anywhere?
A detonator?
Don't worry about the bathroom, Mr. Beedman. Really don't worry. In prison, there wasn't one either.
Prison!
I just got out. Didn't Joe tell you?
No.
Didn't even mention it.
No!
Terrible. All that man ever talks about is himself. Well, there are people like that, I suppose. What can you do with someone who's had such a tragic youth? Did you have a tragic youth, Mr. Beedman? Not that I did, of course. I could have studied, you know. My father wanted me to go into the law.
Mr. Eisenling, I didn't sleep all night, to be absolutely honest. Because it's really petrol in those drums.
Don't you trust us?
I'm only asking.
What sort of people do you think we are, to be absolutely honest?
I don't want you to feel like I've got no sense of humour, but I must say, your jokes can be, well, a little bit unusual.
Well, it's something we're working on.
What is?
Our jokes. You see, comedy is the third best tactic. The second best tactic is sentimentality. The stuff Joe comes out with. Minus family, childhood poverty, orphanages, all that bollocks. But in my experience, the best, most reliable tactic is still the naked truth. Because funnily enough, no one believes it.
Oh, wait there, but if you're Mrs. Naturally, you're wasting your time. Mr. Beedham's already made it quite clear that he wants nothing to do with you. Oh no, wait there, just don't get your hopes up.
Why is Joe taking so long? Violators aren't that hard to find. Let's hope he hasn't had his collar felt.
Had his collar felt.
What's funny about that?
Expressions like that, you know, well, it's as if you're from another planet, having your collar felt. I find that fascinating. You see, in my world, people don't often get their collars felt.
Because in your world, people don't steal firelighters. Obviously, it's a class thing.
Rubbish.
You're not trying to tell me that you...
I don't believe in class. I'm a man of my time, you see, in case you hadn't noticed. In fact, what I really can't stand is the attitude of the socially disadvantaged themselves, because they go on about class more than anyone else does. These days we're all human beings, aren't we? Rich or poor, we're all human beings, even the middle classes. You and I, we're both made of flesh and blood, aren't we? I don't know whether you smoke. I'm not saying everybody should be the same. There will always be stupid people and clever people, thank heavens. But why can't we be friends? A little bit of goodwill, for God's sake, a little idealism. We'd all have a quiet life, rich and poor together, don't you think?
If I may be frank,
I'm all for that.
you won't take offence.
The franker, the better.
You're quite sure.
Absolutely certain.
You really shouldn't smoke in here. This is your home at the end of the day, yeah? But Mr. Beeman, do you understand?
Oh, of course I do.
There it is! Ah!
I'm sorry, what is it you're doing all the time, if you don't mind my asking? And what's that?
Oh, that's a detonator. Oh, that's fuse wire. Joe says the latest detonators are even better, but the military hasn't issued them yet, so we can't steal them. And buying them's out of the question. Military hardware is terribly expensive. Everything has to be top quality, you see.
Fuse wire. You did say fuse wire.
Detonating fuse wire. Would you be kind enough to hold the end, so I can measure it?
Joking apart.
It won't take a minute. Won't take a minute. Ah, perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Beeman.
I'm not someone you can make a fool of, you know, definitely not. I must say, you rather take it for granted that people will see the funny side. I'm not surprised you get arrested from time to time. Not everybody's sense of humour is as highly developed as mine, you know.
Well, you have to find the right sort of people.
If I said people were fundamentally decent, everyone I'd know would laugh in my face. Mind you, I donated a fair old whack to the local fire brigade. I'm not saying how much.
Don't worry. Come the big day, everyone's going to cop it. Sense of humour or no sense of humour. What's the matter, Mr. Beeman? You've gone all pale. Oh, it's the smell, isn't it? Petrol. If you're not used to it, I'll open the skylight for you.
Thank you.
Mr. Beeman! Mr. Beeman!
Not the police again.
Mr. Beeman!
It's a police state. That's what it is.
Mr. Beeman!
I'm coming! Do you like goose?
Goose.
Goose, yes, goose.
Me like goose white.
With chestnut stuffing?
And red cabbage?
Yes! What I'm trying to say is, me and my wife, well, mainly me, I just thought that if it would appeal to you, I don't want to force you, but if you would like to join us for a bite to eat, you and Mr. Schmitz,
This evening?
is tomorrow better?
No, I think we'll be gone by tomorrow. This evening will be perfect. Thank you very much.
Shall we say 7 o'clock?
Mr. Beeman!
It's a deal?
It's a deal. It's a deal. You can come out now. You heard? Joe and I have been invited downstairs for supper. You keep watch up here, make sure no one starts smoking. At least not yet. Got that? Sometimes I wonder why you're with us, Doctor. You don't really enjoy it, do you? Setting places on fire. You don't get off on it. The sparks, the flames, the smoke, the noise, dogs barking, people screaming. Ashes. None of that does a thing for you, does it? Do-gooder. I don't like academics, but you know that, Doctor, don't you? I told you that from the beginning. Academics like you are very theoretical, always very ideological, always very serious. I don't trust someone like you, a doctor of philosophy. Your heart's not in it.
We are prepared. The posters have been carefully rolled according to colour, according to rule. Every home's real, perfectly oiled. Everyone knows what has to be done.
It's only a pity the wind's coming up.
The wind from the south.
Everyone knows what has to be done. The hydrants have been checked to make sure the pressure is high.
Remember to check the hydrants.
Everyone knows what has to be done.
We are prepared. I bet I need to
I
tell
know
you
I'll
something.
let my husband go.
Aye.
Just as ordered by husband. Apparently I meant to cook it so that we can be friends with those two up there. I can't get rid of this stupid feeling it's the last time the bells in this town were without that.
Babette!
I'm not sure my husband's always right, honestly I'm not. I mean, his line is, they may be thugs, but if we make enemies of them, that's the end of his hair rejuvenator.
Babette!
It's always the same. I know my Godfrey. He's too kind for his own good.
Look at the one with the glasses.
Probably the son of a well-to-do family.
Never known envy. Very well bred and horribly pale.
Not one to hope that good will come from being good-natured, no. This one's ready to do just about anything.
The ends justifying the means.
So he hopes.
Respectable sometimes. Cleaning his glasses. He's very far-sighted.
In drums full of petrol, he does not see petrol.
Instead, he sees an idea. Which of the ideas on fire?
Because, as you see, Mrs. Netchling, I don't have time to deal with the dead. I don't have the time. You heard what I said. Talk to my lawyer. Anna, I can't hear myself think. Shut that window. I said a cosy little meal. Why those ridiculous candlesticks?
We always have them, Mr. Beesman.
A cosy little meal, I said. None of this pretension. Oh my God, finger bowls and porcelain plates and a songwriter, for God's sake. Everything's so white and elegant. What kind of impression does that make? Oh, and Anna, I'm wearing all this jacket. But just you can keep the big carving knife, we'll need that. But apart from that, get rid of the smart stuff. Our two guests need to feel comfortable. Where's the corkscrew?
Here,
Don't you have anything simpler?
you're in the kitchen, but it's rusty.
Get it. And what's this?
For the wine.
It's silver. Do we always have this?
Yes, we need it, Mr. Beesman.
Need? In what sense need? What we need is a little human kindness, a sense of community. Get rid of it. And what the hell are those?
Napkins.
Linen napkins.
They're the only ones we have.
There are entire tribes who live without napkins. People like us are... I'm just wondering if we really need a tablecloth. Let's make it classless. What's the wreath for?
It's the one we ordered, Gottlieb. And what do you think you'd sent it here by mistake? I wrote out the address to the next room for them myself, clear as day. And the ribbon's all wrong.
The ribbons? Why?
And apparently they sent the bill to Mrs. Netchling.
Gottlieb Biederman. R.I.P. Oh, I'm sorry. This is unacceptable. It's bloody outrageous. They'll just have to change it. Don't get me all upset now, Babette. I have other things to do, for God's sake. I can't be everywhere. Right, get rid of the... Come on, Anna, give me a hand. Like I said, don't push up the food. Is that clear? You just come in without knocking. You just come in and you simply put the pan down on the table.
What, the pan on the table?
A completely different atmosphere. See? A wooden table, nothing more. Like at the Last Supper.
You mean you want me to bring the goose in the pan to the table? What wine do you want?
I'll get it myself.
Oh, in Mr. Beesman?
What is it now?
I don't have a jumper and it's not the kind you want me to wear, sort of like part of the family.
Borrow one from my wife.
Oh, okay, well, the red or the yellow.
Just keep it informal. I don't want to see any caps or aprons, is that understood? And like I said, get rid of the candlesticks. And generally, just make sure the place doesn't look so perfect. Like down in the cellar.
Oh, just make sure the place doesn't look so perfect. All right then. Oh.
Good evening.
Why then firelighters?
They've all been seized by the police, a preemptive national security measure. Anyone selling or possessing violators without a licence will be arrested.
You've got a mate?
No,
Me neither.
just gonna have to ask him.
Me?
Yes, now don't forget. Oh, I suppose goodbye.
You can think what you like about me, all right? But tell me this.
Oh, Betty, that stinks!
Sorry about those two. But if that's all they get up to, I'll be happy. If someone had told me a week ago that I'd be getting the best bottles out of my cellar for them. Now come on, tell me the truth. Exactly how long have you known that those two are arsonists? It's not like you think. It doesn't dawn on you just like that. It starts slowly, and then suddenly, suspicion. Well, I had my suspicions right from the start. You always have your suspicions, don't you? But be honest, in my place, what would you have done? Come on, for God's sake, what would you have done, and when? I've got to go.
Kindling, did you hear that one? Kindling! With kindling, you don't really need firelights.
What's that funny?
Do you know what kindling is?
Yes, you like fires with it.
You have no sense of humour, Babette. What can you do with someone who simply has no sense of humour?
Then explain the joke.
All right. So this morning, Billy says he sent Joe to steal some firelighters, right? And so I asked Joe, what's this with firelighters? And he says he couldn't find any firelighters, only bags of kindling. You understand? And Billy says, with kindling, you don't really need firelighters.
I understood that.
Did you?
Yes, only it isn't funny.
Oh, come on, let's have a drink.
Is it true then? Have you got bags of kindling in our attic?
You'll laugh at that. This morning we even measured out the fuse wire together, me and Billy.
The fuse wire.